Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Harness Your Hump Day. We are in for a real treat. The man, the myth, the legend, my mentor, my buddy, my friend, my colleague, and I don't know, what other hats do we wear?
Can I just be one of those things? Can I be more the myth than the legend? That's a lot to live up to.
Well,
Man.
well, we have Brian Flath here today with WSIU, and like I said, Brian and I wear many hats together, and I was trying to figure out how many years have we known each other?
I think we met somewhere around 2010, 11-ish in there.
So about 10 years?
I'm trying to think. I think it was something chamber related that we probably met.
I'm sure you volunteered or voluntold me to do something.
Probably so. Well, I mean, at that point, I really couldn't voluntold you to do anything because I didn't know you that well yet. But yes.
Well, I did jump right in, and I will tell you right off the bat, I like people that challenge me and motivate me, and Brian was one of those people. But I learned really quick. There is only one Brian, just like there's only one Tom, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not hanging with him. But it helped me decide which things I wanted to focus on and volunteer for. So
often we divide and conquer, though. Let's just be frank about that. We can't always be everywhere all the time. So sometimes it's you go here, I go there, and it's all good.
Yeah, and before I forget, I forgot my bowler hat today that goes with my outfit, so I apologize for the glare. I can't apologize for yours, however.
I forgot a hat, period, and here you just said we're people that wear many hats. I got a hat on. Right.
So what we want to talk about today is collaboration across mediums, and I guess for a lack of better words, we are in competing industries. Tell people a little bit, like, just real quick, who you are and what you do.
So my current role is I'm the Associate Director of Corporate Support at WSIU Public Broadcasting.
That sounds very important.
Well, I mean, it fills up my business card nicely. I don't know how important it is. And what's interesting, Tom, is if you lined up 10 of us across the public media system that do the job I do, we'd have 9 different titles because nobody can decide exactly how to call ourselves. But that's what we call it here.
But you just create your own title, which is kind of cool.
At WSIU, my role is to bring in sponsorship dollars for our radio and television programming. So the announcements that you see before and after shows on WSIU TV and that you hear on WSIU radio. Before that, I put in 18 years of service in the newspaper business, 15 years at the Southern Illinoisan in Carbondale, and I was in Decatur for 3 years as well. So pretty much been in media my whole life. I guess I'm one of those honestly rare people that I'm actually in the job profession that I went to school for.
Yes,
SIU.
I am not.
You don't see
I'm
that
not.
a lot anymore.
Both my degrees are in education, which I taught for 10 years. So
You did.
So we all know that there's digital, there's radio, there's TV, there's newspaper. They have all these different mediums, and when you throw in kind of a market of Southern Illinois, and you have to really look at Southern Illinois as kind of a little bit broader and bigger. There's a lot of options for people, for businesses and organizations to brand, to market, to sell their products, to sell their services out there. And it can be overwhelming enough just figuring out what to do. But then you have all these salespeople, business development people coming at you, and it's hard to decide when, where do you spend your money? What do you do? And I think one of the things I've really enjoyed about working with you, also learning from you, is the fact that we try to find ways to collaborate. And we finally did, I think after how many years, we finally were able to find a project that we could collaborate on.
It's a good thing I'm a patient person, Tom.
Well,
Really good
it's
thing.
Not for a lack of trying.
I know it is.
We've tried.
I know. You got to find the fit, though.
Yeah, and that's what I've done with you. And there's been a lot of times when we've had discussions, and I've said, you've really done a great job of matching up your services with whatever the programming is with the clients, and I think that's important. But let's just talk about some of the myths or some of the, why do you think it's hard for competing mediums other than us? Why is it challenging out there to collaborate?
Well, to me, the easy answer is everybody thinks they are the best, they are the only, and that's where everybody should spend their marketing dollars, advertising dollars, however you want to say it. I have for many, many years, and I've told clients this because I truly believe in this statement. There is no one best way to reach your ideal customer out there. Never has been and never will be. And as you mentioned, now there are so many varying mediums and platforms and apps. And I mean, I see local messaging pop up in places I didn't even know there was local messaging possible, you know, and I wonder to myself, well, how did they get on there? How did they know to be on there, right? So that to me is the reason it's so challenging, is because everybody thinks they're the best. I have told people though that there is no one medium approach, and who am I to say that you trying a Pinterest ad, or you upping your Instagram, or you running a newspaper ad is not going to work for your business.
Right.
You know, I often will say that to new businesses, especially because that's the most challenging, I think, for a new business coming to market. How are they going to get their word out? What are they going to use? And very simply, from my side, I can't tell you something isn't going to work for you until you try it. Now, I realize that you're doing a little bit of gambling with your money, with your marketing dollars, but you know what? It truly is a little bit of a gamble. If I could tell you exactly what was going to work, and I have told people this, I said, if I knew exactly what was going to work for people, every appointment I had would be 15 minutes, because I'd have one scheduled every 30 minutes because people would want to hear exactly where they needed to be.
Yeah.
I can't tell them that. All I can do is go out and present my product to someone. And in my case, our medium is a little different because we, in public broadcasting, don't offer advertising on our
sponsorship
medium. We offer sponsorship. We offer the opportunity for a business to support their local public radio and television station, and in return for that, we give them announcements on the air. If you were to make a donation to WSIU, you might get something like this awesome apple green coffee mug here, which next week you can for your $60 donation to WSIU.
Nice plug.
Shameless plug there.
Always good.
However, as a business, we offer you announcements on the air, so it's an opportunity to show your support, say a little bit about what you do, and then we move on. It is not the most dynamic type of marketing, and we know that. That's not what it's set up to. So if you are really aggressively going after clients, if you're really aggressively promoting a sale that you have going on, we're not the medium for you. But that doesn't mean that there aren't many other good ones out there.
But I think for you guys, it's really about branding. And I think that's what new businesses forget, is that they have to spend and budget a certain amount to get the name out there. But and hopefully what that does is that leads to sales and to have a budget to do that. But as you know as well as I do, actually even starting a business in Southern Illinois, it took me literally like 6 years. And I mean, you've seen me slow down a little bit, but you've seen me in the 24/7, 365 6-year process of you have to just beat the street for 6 years and be committed. And I think that's what's hard, is because I think if you run a business in Southern Illinois specifically, and it could be across the Midwest, you have to be in it for the long haul.
You do. I think you, hopefully you will agree with this though. Just doing something for the sake of doing it is not a reason to do it. You know, you have to have a strategy, a concept behind the messaging you're putting out there. And I think that's what you and your team do so very well with clients. That's why clients come to a business like yours, because the social media realm is something that most just don't understand. They know they need to be there, they want to be there, but how do I effectively convey the messaging? You know, oh, and by the way, we're out of toilet paper. Oh, and by the way, we got to pay our taxes. Oh, by the way, is the electric bill due? I mean, these are all things that the business owner...
Are you in my head or what?
By the way, are you out of toilet paper?
No, we're good.
You're
good.
good.
Okay,
we're good. Very good. Just wanted to check. Oh, and thank you for the coffee. Do we have enough coffee this morning?
I do try to make sure of that.
And you did. You did a very good job, because we have a guest coming, right? So these are all challenges out there for the business owner. And I think that it is wonderful that there are businesses like yours out there to help people with that struggle.
And you know what I like about, and I'm going to go back. I won't say the name because I don't know what we can and can't say, but because I don't want to get you in trouble. But there was, you know the programming so well, and there's new stuff, and I feel like as soon as you hear something, you're like, boom, the light bulb goes off like it does for us.
Sure.
This would be a good matchup. And one of the most brilliant matchups I remember, and I know you for, was when Ken Burns came out with the, was it the National Parks?
National Park.
The
yeah.
National Parks. And
Yeah.
you're like, I know exactly where I'm going to go and who I'm going to talk to. And I'm like, oh my God, that's brilliant. That's like, I mean, it's one thing to sell for the purpose of selling. Or, and I know you have quotas and you have things that everybody has to make, because if you don't, then you don't get paid. And that's you kind of like to eat and you like your socks and shoes.
I do, yeah. Yeah.
But I think when you really spend the time to think about your craft and how you can match people up, I mean, that's what we try to do. We know that not every business needs to be on every social media platform. And then we need to position when the new ones come in, do our clients need to be on that? So I've always been impressed with how you really put the business that you're working with matching that up. Even when you pitch me, when you're like, because I'm a Sherlock Holmes fan, which is cut for a while, I think, or it's done. I can't remember.
Well, I have heard through the
Rumors?
PBS rumblings that they're looking at bringing some episodes of Sherlock back,
Oh, it's so good.
but in typical PBS form. No time frame on that necessarily. But when I find out, you will be one of the top 5 people to know.
So when you're going out and in essence, you and I are both competing with other markets and stuff. When people ask, what's the difference between you and insert medium, or do you offer these services? How do you navigate that? Like, how do you navigate that? For me, it's easy. As a small business owner, I can do pretty much what I want.
Sure.
I create relationships with TV, newspaper, and radio, and I decide, well, do I think that this is a good fit? And there's been many times I've told people, I think with your budget or something you might want to do, you might want to look at Brian, and you might want to look at newspaper if they're going for a specific demographic.
Sure.
But how do you navigate that? Like, I mean, it's a little, it's like, it can be very uncomfortable, but like, how do you navigate that?
Well, what I tell my assistant directors as they go out and prospect for business, and I very much try to hold myself accountable to this too. Before I can make any kind of recommendation to you as my potential client to be a sponsor on WSIU, I have to find out your needs, your audience, the market you're going after, products you're trying to grow, messaging you're trying to get out, and then the number one most important thing that I need to know leaving that initial intake meeting, as I like to call it, is, Tom, what is your budget for marketing? What is your budget for sponsorship on WSIU? Because here's the thing, I can come away from that meeting and think, oh man, he is all in, he really loves the product. But you know this as well as I, there is nothing worse, frankly, than spending the time and money on a Cadillac package to the Chevy customer. And that's exactly how I say it. Sorry, GM, that's just how I view your product line. But you know what I mean? I mean, I got to come out with that, because then I know along my myriad of programs and list, or mediums in your example, what am I going to pitch to that person?
Yeah.
Where am I going to best make their dollars work for them?
That phrase, what I grew up with at my house with my mom specifically, and my dad, my step-up mom and dad, was champagne taste on a beer pocket budget.
You bet.
However,
You bet.
on our craft beer budget, that might not be the best.
Well, I mean, you
analogy.
know what? I mean, we do have our liver to consider, and I won't share my other phrase when it comes to that right here on this.
I did want to say, I didn't know if you caught, but I'm drinking on my Doctor Who.
Doctor Who, another wonderful public media show.
That's how I first was introduced to PBS, was when Doctor Who was on after school. Many great programmings. Actually, they were really known for a lot of the kids' programmings.
Yeah, I mean, PBS, when it started back in the 60s, kids programming was its key focus, and it still is, for that matter. There are always new shows coming out. I mean, we think of the old time shows, Sesame Street, Curious George, whatnot. Still
Clifford.
Still on. Clifford. In fact, I think Curious George is on right now.
3-2-1 Contact.
Also very good.
Old school.
Also good. Reading Rainbow.
Oh, that's right. Reading Rainbow was on there.
Might remember that from the day.
Yeah.
But that being said, just 2 weeks ago on Monday, last week we had a brand new show debut on PBS Kids. So, they're evolving, they're keeping up, they're trying to meet the needs of their audience too. And I think that at the end of the day is what we're all trying to do. We're trying to meet the needs of our clients and put them in front of the best audience possible.
So do you, because I always try to match up too, do you try to recommend, or do you try to, I think sometimes we think we are the best.
Sure.
And I think I was guilty of this early on. And I think when you start up a business, you want everybody. And then you start to craft your niche of what you're really good at and what your strengths are. And I would think with your team, there's probably certain ones that are really good in certain industries and where you feel like you are really good at in some.
Yes.
So how would you, I guess, to go back and just kind of reinforce that, how do you navigate to put yourself at the front of as a serious option? Like, do you rely on data? Do you rely on your business development skills? Your morals, your ethics? Because at the end of the day, you're right. When they tell you the budget, you know what you have to work with, and you also know you could use that budget and it work or not work, meaning the frequency of it, or you're like, it might be better off to look at a different medium on that. Like, do you feel you can navigate that, or do you always try to? I mean, I guess it's a tough question. I don't know if you can answer it, but
well, I'll give you the best answer that I can. The biggest difference between what I do now with WSIU and what I did for the newspapers was back at the newspaper, I had a wide variety of products. I had something that published every day, and I could go up and down the street here in, let's just say, downtown Carterville, a block away. I could go up and down the street to every business, and I would have something in my toolbox that I could offer them. I could find some angle for them to take with the audience. Right now, with this business, as I think of who is downtown, I could go to maybe 3 or 4 of the businesses, realistically. Now, could I come up with something for them or make the case? Well, sure. But in our industry, we know that some categories of business speak very well to our audience. They identify very well with the audience. So what we do is we look for categories of business, number one, that are going to resonate well with the audience. And then, as you mentioned, on the television side especially, there's a lot of niche programming and a lot of kind of one-off kind of content. And that's one of the beauties of public television. It's always changing. There are ongoing series, but there are a lot of short shows, one-off shows that you can really connect with an audience if you want to. For instance, just give you an example. Starting on the 26th of this month, there's going to be a 4-part series on the American veteran.
Whoa!
And it's going to be a series that features veterans, is hosted by veterans, and it's going to tell their stories. It's from their perspective. So if you are a business that works directly with veterans, if you are a veteran-owned business perhaps, and you want to sponsor that kind of show, we still have a couple sponsorships open.
Nice plug.
That's an opportunity for you to connect with that audience. Now, am I going to go to just anybody and everybody with that? Probably not. Probably not. Now, some other mediums, again, where it's more direct sale, it's, hey, we're having 40% off this weekend only. That's what their medium is set up for. So again, if that's what you are needing, I'm not the one for you. There are people in the marketplace, though, that are.
And I think it goes back to, ethics and morals, too. I think that it's in any industry, whether it's sales or whatever, people are willing to do anything to get the sell. And those people are absolutely out there.
Sure.
Right?
Oh, yes.
So I think it goes back to what you taught me way, way, way back, which is it's more about business development and creating relationships and trust, because not only trying to match up the right people, it's not about quantity, it's about quality.
Sure,
and being able to know that you've done the best you can for this business or organization, because you don't want to muddy the water either. That's one of the things that we found out early on, is that, everybody thought they could do social media just like everybody thinks they can do photography now with the phone. And
Right.
it's a little bit different, because you guys are we've got a lot of competition internally and small. But what people realize is that it turned out to be, wow, this is a medium that we need to really seriously think about, and we need to have a strategy like you mentioned earlier.
Yes.
And we need to have consistency, and we need to have good content. So when you think about it that way, not everybody can do. Are they capable of doing it? Yes. But can everybody? Not necessarily. Like, we don't have a radio station. We don't have a TV station. This is the best that we've got, right? So I think that at the end of the day, when you have competing mediums, it's really, what's the saying that we all work together, the tide, the ship. I don't know. I forget the quote. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
All sinking, not sinking ships, but all tides rise. All tides rise the ship, I guess.
We should all be working for the benefit of our client.
Correct.
And the word you've used several times that I agree with is relationships.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking to build with someone. I'm not looking to go in and sell someone a 3-month sponsorship package on WSIU, and then at the end of the 3 months, or at the 2.5-month mark, come back to them and say, well, how's that working for you? You're seeing anything? Not really. That really wasn't a good fit. Well, when I hear somebody say that, I have to then go back and evaluate why they're saying that. What was my motivation at the start? And if it was only to meet a quota, to sell another $500, absolutely not the right reason to do it.
We probably could talk all day about this, but you're on vacation. And
I had budgeted till noon. Do we not have that much time?
We are not staying on here till noon. Yeah.
Well, I
so
told my wife would be home by 9. So that's probably good anyway.
All right. So let me finish up. All right, Brian. Thank you as always, brother.
Thank you,
I appreciate.
Sir. Pleasure.
I'm sure we'll have many more conversations. We could talk about nonprofits. What's up?
Oh, you know what? The other thing that I do want to say, you must be pleasantly persistent in this business. And I give kudos to Tom, because this week was the 8th invite that I've had, at least, to this, and I kept saying yes, maybe, but no, I can't. But today, I left my Rotary meeting at 7:55 to cruise on over here. So thank you for being persistent.
And I appreciate it, and I'm sorry, Rotary, for stealing your beloved Brian away from you.
Thank you.
All
They
right.
do without me for 1 week.
All right. Okay, so 2 announcements real quick. Just a reminder, every Monday is Marketing Makeup Monday with Crystal. She's done a great job this month. She's doing some makeup for Halloween. It's amazing.
Crazy stuff.
It is. She's ridiculously talented. It's great when you have the opportunity to learn from someone with Crystal's experience and her background in makeup. So check her out every Monday. If you miss it, you can check the playlist that she has on Facebook.
Think she'd be crazy enough to give us hair for Halloween?
I think she has. I have some in the office. You know me and all my little skits and projects and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Also, if you have the opportunity and time, please go over to the Facebook group Stars and Stripes SI. It's a collaboration between Harness Digital Marketing, Withers Broadcasting, and Dana Communications. If you are a veteran supporter, you are a veteran business, or you have a veteran organization, please go there, support. Plug your events, plug your opportunities. You should plug something in there about the upcoming veteran thing to give some of the businesses.
I will.
But yes, we've enjoyed that collaboration, and I hope that we can continue to do that and provide this service throughout Southern Illinois. Also, events every Tuesday. I think they're still going on. I got to double check. But Becky Salazar over at the Egyptian Area on Aging is working with Memory Cafe Tuesdays at the Country Cupboard in downtown. Well, I guess, yeah, it's downtown Carterville towards the end, closer to 13. So check that out. It is for caretakers and people that are suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's to get together, to have a safe zone, to have discussion, and to kind of get out and just feel like you're not alone. So if you need any information about that, you can contact the Egyptian Area on Aging, and Becky Salazar. Up next, Russ Williams and the Marion Chamber. They will be, I don't know, I think this might be the 5th year for the Live to Lead. This year's theme is Changing Your World. It's at the Pavilion in Marion. Starts at 8:30 on Friday, October 29th. I believe there still might be some sponsorships available. However, get your tickets. This is for people that are wanting to up their game in leadership and just kind of their professional development. It's a great event. It is going to be hybrid. There's going to be in person and online this year. So whatever strikes your fancy and whatever you're comfortable with, guess what? They have an option for you.
I think that's a good way to do it this year. I mean, you're going to see more. Sorry to jump in.
No,
you're
you're
going to
fine.
see more hybrid events like that going on. It just expands the scope of people who can participate. So I like that.
And I'm all about options.
Yes.
I'm all about options.
Yes.
There you go. And speaking of options, you have the option to attend the 12th annual Southern Illinois Chili Cook-Off in Marion. This will be my 5th year of that one as well, of judging the chili. So I was able to pick up a couple of people to sign up for the group. If you have any information or if you need any information or you want to sign up and get tickets for that, you can reach out to Julie Campbell. That event is Saturday, November 13th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and it is at 204 South Market Street in Marion, just over behind the Marion Cultural Civic Center. But it's an awesome event. Oh, and this year's theme, Las Vegas. So guess what? I got a suit. I've got 2 possible suits to wear for that one, but I know which one I'm wearing. So
A suit?
yeah, I know. I haven't bought any in a while. So
the other day when I was at Kohl's buying Evan some new bowling slacks, they had some Oppo suits on clearance, and they just happened to have one of the ones that you have, one in my size. But it was tempting, though. It was tempting.
yeah, we're getting back into kind of some suit seasons. It's been unseasonably warm lately, so.
And nobody wants to see you sweat in your suit.
Nah, well, they can't really see because of the way the material is. However, I can feel it inside. It feels like one of your mascot suits. So.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. Go out in the world, be the reason someone smiles. And if your business or organization needs our services, we can hashtag turn the light bulb on for you. Have a wonderful day, and peace be with you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Brian.
Mm.